Welcome to Warrior Talk 2. The drive to work. Some of you may have heard in the news over the last couple days about the school shooting in Marshall County. It's kind of my backyard. I work in Marshall County. Luckily my kids aren't old enough to be in high school yet, so they weren't there. But having something like that happen that close to home really gets you thinking about some things in your life and what you should do or what you would have done. Something I had never even really thought to prepare for. Even though I hear it in the news all the time, everybody hears it in the news. School shooting this and terrorist attack that. I had not thought about school shooting or what I should be doing to train my kid, to have him prepared for what he should do if somebody, God forbid, should attack his school. And honestly, that's something I don't have a whole lot of experience in. I guess, telling them to follow directions and that kind of stuff, they have these plans. But I doubt that plan includes fighting back. That plan will probably be run and hide in a damn room somewhere and wait for cops to get there. I guess for now all I can do is trust the school's plan while I do some research on the best way. Because an unarmed 11-year-old taking on another armed child, I don't really see a good way for that to happen. He is in martial arts. I do that with him. He's in karate and jiu-jitsu and Bushido fight school up there with me. So he knows how to defend himself. Those types of things. I teach him to shoot, self-defense and that kind of stuff, but he can't take his gun to school. Rightly so, So what is a child to do under those circumstances? That's heavy. Yeah, that's heavy. There are a few things that I've found that I think apply to everybody, but especially in these homegrown attack situations. I'm going to start off by saying I'm not trying to put the blame for this on anybody other than that kid who walked in there and shot me. He may have been bullied, he may have been hurting, he may have been a whole lot of things. But there's a lot of people in the world that are hurting that don't take a gun and go kill them. A lot of people in the world with other things going on, drastically messing with their life and their head, who don't go kill them. So, if you're bullying people, stop. Makes them want to do that shit. If you're being bullied, seek help. Tell people. Don't be quiet about it. And don't think that your only recourse is to find a gun and kill people, because you will ruin your life and you will ruin other people's lives. That said, blame squarely where it belongs, in the hands of the kid who lost his mind and killed 2 kids and wounded a bunch of others. Let's go in and kind of look at the situation and see if there's anything that I know that could have applied my little bit of warrior time that might have helped. And one of those things that I've learned that I think would have definitely helped is combat profiling. It's called combat profiling because that's the system I learned it in. And it was developed by the Marine Corps at the request of Mad Dog Mattis. to teach Marines what to look for in a war, in an environment where the enemy dresses like civilians. It doesn't wear a uniform. It hides. If they're not standing there in an enemy military uniform telling you, hey, I'm the bad guy, I'm who you shoot at, instead they hide among civilians, how do you find it? For Civilians, the best book I've found, and it talks specifically about the combat profiling portion of Combat Hunter from the Marine Corps, is Left of Bang. Left of Bang was written by two of the Marine Corps officers who helped develop the Combat Hunter program, specifically the combat profiling portion. And it talks about how to be aware in your surroundings, what you're looking for, what responses people have to different stimuli to tell you that they've got something nefarious on their mind. And it takes some time and practice. You have to have a baseline and know what people in your area generally do and act like in order for it to work. So, if it's something you're interested in, you should pick up the book and learn it. I'll talk about it a little bit, and a little bit I know and how I use it, but I'm far, far, far from an expert in it. I'm far from an expert in most things in the world. It takes 10,000 hours, roughly, to be able to claim expertise. And at my age, there's not a lot that I've been able to spend 10,000 hours doing. So, anyway, Combat Hunter. Specifically, combat profiling and staying left of Bang. What that means. Bang is your major incident. Bang is the school shooting. Bang is a bomb going off. Bang is being attacked on the street by a mugger. It's any major event. And if you put that on a timeline, Bang's the middle. You've got everything that happened before Bang, and then you've got everything that happens after Bang. Bang's the major event. Left of Bang, left on the timeline, left of Bang is proactive. Means you are doing things before something bad happens. Right of Bang is reactive. You're doing stuff after Bang. After the shit has happened. After the bomb's gone off. After somebody's shooting at you. Then you're reacting. And there's worlds of knowledge out there. That's 99% of what's taught to warriors today is how to react and be right of Bang. How to be the baddest motherfucker right of Bang. But just as important is left of Bang. What to look for to prevent those major events from happening. What to look for so that the bad guy doesn't get the drop on you. What to look for so that you know something bad's about to happen and you can be prepared. And it applies everywhere. Everywhere in life. Not just to fighting. How to tell if somebody walks in and has intentions of harming you. How to tell if somebody's going to walk in and have intentions of doing something you don't want them to do in a business meeting. Maybe they have plans to try and screw you over in business, and you can use this stuff to see their body language before the meeting and know that they have ill will towards you. All of that kind of stuff, that's left of Bang. That's what this book's talking about. How to see the indicators that people give off that give you a precursory warning and time to react instead of, or time to be proactive instead of reactive. So, There's 6 divisions of stuff you're looking for. I do not have them all memorized. I will tell you the ones that I have in my mind that stand out for me that I use. I'm rereading that book currently, adding to this knowledge. It's been a while since I used it, and I had forgotten how important it was, to be honest with you. So, you're looking for groups of 3 activities or anomalies that stand out from your baseline to give you an indicator that this person may have something that requires further investigation. And when you get to 3, you have to do something. You have to investigate. If you are good enough at this to have a baseline and you've used it, and you find 3 anomalies in the same person in your area, you owe it to yourself to react and do something before he does. So, but that doesn't mean you can't do something with less than 3. It just means at 3, by God, 3 is the hard line. Do something. So, you've got clusters of behavior based on the autonomic system of the body. That's the fight or flight response. People have no control over that. They cannot shut that off. Your body is going to do that. So, and your body's going to have certain reactions to it. As you prepare to flee or fight, you are going to have a response in your body. Adrenaline's going to dump. You're going to make a decision, and you're going to start going one way or the other. So, as your body reacts to that, you will display some signs. And you'll either show dominance or aggression. And you'll either be preparing to fight or preparing to flee. And then you'll either be something else that goes into it. It's a comfortable and uncomfortable. Whether a person appears to be at home in a situation or they appear uncomfortable in a situation. And you gotta have a baseline of where you're at. Your baseline is going to be different at church than it is at the mall. It will be different at work than it is at school. And you need to pay attention to your people and your surroundings all the time and develop that baseline of understanding how people act in your environment. Are they comfortable there? Most of the time in civilian life, people live in the comfortable group. Their behaviors fall into the comfortable group a good majority of the time. If they are walking down the mall, their situational awareness is very low. They're not checking around them, looking behind them to see if they're being followed. They're not looking for people that are wanting to do them harm. They're mostly oblivious to their surroundings. They're comfortable. They're not showing any signs that they are worried about anything bad happening. Sorry, sun's getting bright, putting on sunglasses. So they're not worried about anything bad happening. They're not checking their six and looking behind them. They're not being situationally aware of what's going on around them. They're just kind of diddy-bopping through the damn mall. They aren't worried about anything. And you can see that. They'll talk to their friends and they won't look around them. They'll hear a noise and not react to it. They don't have their arms out or anything, making themselves look bigger. They're just completely comfortable. And then you got the uncomfortable ones. So if you're walking down the mall and everybody there is comfortable and you see one guy acting strange. He's jittery. Comfortable, you could tell he's moving strangely. He's hyper alert to his surroundings, looking at everything that's around him, seeing who's paying attention to him, who's not. Staying out of groups and away from people. watching everything. That guy is showing signs of discomfort. He does not feel at ease in his surroundings. And that's an anomaly if you're in a comfortable group. You know, if you're in a place where people feel uncomfortable, you know, if you're at a morgue or a funeral home and a funeral, everybody there is going to be uncomfortable. And it's the one who walks in super comfortable that you got to worry about. Or if you're in a big tense meeting and everybody's showing signs of minor discomfort, and you've got one guy comes in super confident and, you know, act too comfortable in the situation. Or even a better one is that, you know, you're walking down a back alley street somewhere downtown in your city. That's an uncomfortable situation for most average people. That's not somewhere they want to be. And if you notice somebody out there super comfortable in that environment, that means it's probably their environment. And there's a chance that they could have bad intentions because of where you're at. Those kind of things you pay attention to. Those are anomalies. And that would be one anomaly that would kind of put you on path of saying, okay, I need to be paying more attention here, especially to that guy. And then you start looking for other anomalies to see if you can find other stuff that give you an indicator that, you know, this guy might have it in for you. Dominance and submissive behavior. You're going to find both of those behaviors in a lot of settings. What you're looking for is a change of how somebody, you know, a change from submissive to dominant, or a change from dominant to submissive, or somebody being submissive in an area of mostly dominant people. Like a school, for instance. We're talking about that with the big shooting and whatnot. A lot of your jocks are going to show dominant cluster behaviors. They're going to be large and in charge type personalities. They will carry themselves in a way where they look very large all the time. They will talk loudly, command space, bump into people, run into people, those types of behaviors. Because they're your popular kids. They feel the most at home. They'll definitely be in the comfortable cluster. And they feel the most at home in that school. They feel like it's theirs and they run it. And then, like watching a fight, some other dominant behaviors that you won't see all the time, but will definitely stand out when they do, is making yourself bigger. Arms out. Come at me, you know, that kind of crap. Making yourself look bigger, trying to scare away the smaller things by looking big. That's a dominant behavior. The feet of the body, firmly planted, shoulder width apart, or even in a bit of a fight stance, the left foot or right foot, either one depending on what handed they are, slightly forward of the other, weight on the balls of the toes. Those are dominant behaviors, preparation for a fight. Those types of things are things you can look for. Submissive behavior would be meekness, making oneself look small, keeping the arms in, drawn to the center, crossing the legs, putting barriers between you and a person, especially if somebody's sitting and they cross their legs out in front of them, creating a barrier of space between you, them, and the next person. So submissive behavior. Uncomfortable behavior too. Head down, talking real quietly, those types of things. Those are submissive behaviors. And that's an attempt to protect them by not provoking somebody who would mess with them. A more dominant thing. Like, okay, yeah, you win, small, here you go away. Though, a change from one of those to the other is something to really look for. If you have somebody who's typically dominant, who another dominant person comes over and starts applying dominance to them and they switch to submissiveness, especially with people watching, or if they tried to be dominant back and it didn't work and they switch to submissiveness, that's an anomaly. That's not something that they would normally do, a dominant person. that's an indicator that they may be about to do something violent. They may be ashamed of being put down. They may be ashamed of not having talked louder and displayed machoism and bravado better. And so it could lead them to switch to violence, and that can come instantaneously. It doesn't have to be premeditated. So it's dominant, submissive, comfortable, uncomfortable. There's also the way people move through a space. Something to look for called a natural line of drift. That's the path that the group takes when traveling in a specific space. They always walk down this side of a hallway, or there's a path through a parking lot that's mainly used. You'll see cut-throughs in the little bushes areas between parking strips that have been worn through by people walking. Those are natural lines of drift. That's the way people naturally travel through the space. So, because human beings in general are lazy creatures. They want the easiest route. It's not always necessarily the shortest route. They want the easiest route. They want the least amount of danger and the least amount of effort to get somewhere. So they create these travel lanes. If you see somebody traveling outside of those lanes, outside of those natural lines of drift, there's a reason. That's an anomaly. That reason may be to close distance with somebody they plan to attack. That reason may be to get to a new angle where they can see better, to surveil somebody. You know, something that happened that, I don't know if it's been in the news or not, but the shooter here in Marshall County, he made all his shots, just, disposed of the weapon, and then fell in line with everybody else and tried to hide in one of the containment rooms where they took all the students and they locked them in a room and locked all the doors and tried to keep them away from the bad stuff in their gun-free zones where nobody can fight back because gun-free zones are stupid. But anyway, so while they're all locking themselves in closets trying to get away from the big scary bad guy instead of fighting back, this kid disposes of the gun and goes and hides with them in the group. One of the students who happened to be in the area where the shots were fired was in the same room as him and was able to identify him. But if that one kid hadn't been there, this dude would have dropped off and been hiding in this room. Nobody would have known. But he used a natural line of drift. He fell in line, used the natural lines of escape, and did create that anomaly. But, from what I have heard, I was not there, he came in and made a direct beeline to the center of the common area, dropped his bag, pulled his weapon, and opened fire. That's an anomaly. This kid was in band. This kid was picked on a lot. He typically would have shown a submissive behavior in a common area, especially in an area where a lot of the jocks and the popular kids and the dominant kids would be. He would have felt slightly uncomfortable there until he got to his friend group in his particular area. He would have been showing submissive behavior, and he would have used natural lines of drift. On this day, he came in calmly, confidently, showing dominant behavior, showing comfortable behavior, broke away from a natural drift line and walked directly into the center of the common area, and then dropped his stuff and opened fire. Somebody with this training would have noticed those three anomalies and would have had a reaction, a split-second, proactive amount of time to do something about it. And that's what we're talking about. In a world where you cannot treat everybody as an enemy and expect everybody to be your enemy, these are the tools you use to find your enemy. If you've got kids in school buying this book, it's called Left of Bang. Give them the tools they need to look for the enemies in their life. And then teach them to be warriors and how to fight it. But anyway, that's my reaction. I'm so sorry to the parents of all these kids. To everybody involved, it's a horrible, horrific tragedy. But take it and learn from it. Know that these types of things are preventable. If you see bullying happen in your school, stand up for the kid being bullied. Don't be a fucking bully. If you are, you have a hand in this. If a bully drives a kid to do dumb things because they emotionally break him through constant torment, they have a small piece of the responsibility for what that kid does. Now, shooting somebody is never the answer. If you're being bullied, if you're being tormented, go and find somebody. Go seek help. Learn to fight. Fight back. People tend not to pick on warriors because when they say stupid shit to strong people, they get hurt. So go get strong. Go learn to fight, and they will cut that shit out. I want to give my condolences to everybody involved. I hope everybody can learn from it, and I hope we can come together as a community to help those that have been harmed. I hope we can band together in this area and really make a difference and learn from this. Understand that it's not the gun's fault, it's the kid's fault. He made the decision. He got broken. And he snapped and did something dumb. He could have done the same thing with a damn truck. Or he could have done the same thing with a ball bat. Or he could have done the same thing with a homemade bomb that he learned how to make and put in his backpack. You can't take danger out of life. You cannot take everything dangerous away. It won't work. Kitchen knives are always going to exist. You know, fertilizer and diesel fuel will always exist. Metal pipes are always going to exist. Sports equipment is always going to exist. There's always a weapon. It's about the person. It's about knowing what to look for in your environment and how to see this coming. So, learn to get your stuff together. Learn to be situationally aware and what to look for. If you're a teacher, look for kids getting bullied and stop that shit. If you're a bully, just stop that shit. If you're getting bullied, find help and learn to fight. Warrior up. Punch that motherfucker in the nose a time or two. Or if you have to, kick him in his dick. He will stop doing dumb shit when you start applying pain to his life. Well, that's all I've got for today. I know these videos are kind of long on these warrior talks, but it gives me an opportunity to pass along a little bit of something and get a few things out there. So I hope you've learned something from it. I hope you enjoyed it. Share it with your friends. I really think this is important. I think getting kids to read this book and learn this stuff is one of the major keys we have, one of the tools that we have to put in the toolbox for these kids to keep them safe in an area where they have a hard time protecting themselves. So learn it, teach it to your kids, and keep watching, keep learning with me, and we'll keep doing this together. Have a good day, Freedom Bringers.